Okay. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Stay up. Okay? Okay, good. I like the look of that. All right, folks, we got a lot to cover, so. All right, someone help, we can't get this thing going. If we can't get this going, I only have this class for so long, folks. Sheesh. Okay, well, unfortunately for this classroom, I can't get the camera to work, so we won't need this. But that's okay, we'll go old-fashioned. Before we add cameras, I'll just walk around with the script. So, we don't need that. I tell you what, it's frustrating when you're ready to teach the class, everybody shows up and then the technology fails. It's just a shame. Okay, so here we go, folks. Welcome back to class. Welcome back to our series of how to write a script. A good script, by the way. We don't want to be writing fake news article tabloids is the word I was looking for. Yes, tabloids. We don't want to be writing, tabloids and turning them into movies, because that's all I see out there in the social media, but also in the Hollywood industry. All I see is tabloid pictures, and that's just no good. So here we go. This is our part 3 of the Voice of Love Falling Down. Okay? Voice of Love Falling Down. I don't know if you can hear me. Hold on. It's very quiet in here. I was hoping that we would have more. There we go. Okay? There? And there. Okay. Gotta get 2 of them in here so you can hear me. Because, you guys just, you can't hear me as well when we're not prepared. So, I'm getting a call. Let me call him real fast. Well, actually, I'm going to have to call you back. Let's see. Ah, my goodness. They call me right when I'm in the middle of a class, and no good. No good. No good. Okay. So here we go, folks. The Voice of Falling Down, the Voice of Love Falling Down, Part 3 in our film lecture series. Okay? So pay attention, because we don't have a camera, so you're really going to have to pay attention here. Get off your cell phones, get off your social media distractions. Not today. So far on the script, we have had a good understanding of what surrealism looks like just by reading the script, which is very nice. Very, very nice. So now the next thing that we have to do here is go into the next part. So where were we last time? We were a leaning fence post. Leaning fence post and a faded pink ribbon. Okay? And we tied some symbolism to that, as if maybe that's the girl's mom. Because mama is older than baby. Okay? So that, there's mama. Alright. Now here we go. I've always kept company without incident. Okay, we read this inner dialogue. That was good. That's the difference. So after she reads this, she literally stands and she slings her bag over her shoulder and she walks towards the edge of campus. Very nice. And so she's walking towards campus away initially and makes her way to the rural fields of Nightfall. Now, I don't know, some of you folks aren't from around here. neither am I, so don't feel too bad. But what you need to know is that in Oregon, there's lots of rural areas where it's the woods rule. The woods, lots of woods. And so this is where she's going. She's following this path that narrows through tall grass. And the campus starts to fade behind her, all the sounds of the chattering and the laughing and the teaching and all that, all of the miscellaneous noises that you hear when you're walking around a educated establishment like a university. Oh, so she's walking through, and she's still deep in the woods now at this point, and there's crickets and there's wind. And here's what she says. She says, silence. And this is after the fence post and all that, so don't be confused, because I think I read some of this earlier, I didn't mean to. Okay, so silence, this is her inner dialogue as she's going down the path. And she says, silence peels things back. And out here, you can hear what people hide from themselves. Okay, yep, we read that part last time, so here we go. And so on the ground, the next scene is we're going to see discarded Polaroids lying in the dirt. And on these Polaroids, we're going to have pictures. We're going to have pictures of a smiling couple. Faces are blurred, and she slips that in her pocket. Whoop. Okay? Now, okay. All right, and so then she continues. They leave traces everywhere. Where? Everywhere. Where? Everywhere. Okay? They leave traces everywhere. Little proofs of how they felt before they forgot. She steps back into the woods, next scene, still nighttime. Now, the next scene that we see, there's all these objects hanging from branches. There's a cracked locket, soaked letters, and broken friendship bracelets. Now, each one of these objects symbolizes quite a bit of different things. Keeping in mind that we got the big FS, foreshadowing. Okay, I have to go back and forth here. One might use volume, and the other one gets a little quiet. Okay, hey, all right, let's pay attention. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay? There we go, thank you. That's okay, yeah. Like I said, I get distracted too, but this is very, very important. So, shut up, eat, listen, do what you gotta do, just go. Okay. Now, the cracked locket. The cracked locket. Now, this is symbolizing time. This cracked locket. And it's a very, very nice cracked locket. I have, in fact, I can't really show you any props from the film because we don't have a camera today in our class. Oh, that's okay. Imagine a locket, okay? For some of you kitty cats that don't know, you're a little too young. A locket is this kind of pocket watch looking thing. It's usually made out of some kind of metal, whether it be copper, gold, or stainless steel. And stainless steel is usually the most normal one that you would find at your local retail store. Okay? This one louder? This one louder. There we go. That one's louder. I'm going to turn that one off. Okay. So, the cracked locket. Now, this thing, this little circular thing, circle, 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 circus, 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 okay? It's cracked. Broken. It's broken. And that symbolizes, and it's gonna have a little watch in it too. So it's symbolizing time is being broken, almost because time is being wasted. See, people are wasting time, and she's got to live her life. She doesn't have time for people wasting her time. Oh. So, and then we see all these soaked letters, and all these letters are going to be, letters to loved ones, letters from city officials, and, lottery ticket letters, deadlines. You're due. You're due. You gotta hurry up. You gotta pay your money. That's the world we live in. And so the last thing would be the broken friendship bracelets, which really symbolizes all of the broken friendships she's had throughout her life. Because in her life, she's had a lot of broken friendships. And unfortunately, friends come and they go. Friends come and they go. Hey! Friends come and they go. Okay, there we go. We gotta make sure you're listening. Alright, so friends, I know it's hard without the camera. I know. You got nothing to look at, Get you a lollipop or something. I might need one too. So then she goes back into her inner dialogue. Here we go. Love doesn't just disappear. Whoa. So hold on. Hold on. Whoa. Wow. Do you hear what she just said out there? Okay, here we go. Love doesn't disappear. It just hides in things, in spaces, in the air between two people. A faint reverse whisper echoes. The difference, I see more than they think I do. And so already this girl has lived such a lifetime that she has this disembodied voice. This disembodied voice that comes through her subconscious. And we're seeing it in real time. We're hearing it. Alright, and as she is going into the woods, and it's a clearing, she finds a clearing out in the woods. You know what a clearing is? I hope you do. It's okay if you don't, whatever. It's a big empty open space with no trees. No trees. There's just no trees. And it's just big and empty and open, They'd probably make a soccer net out there and make a soccer field. If you want, So that's what a clearing is. And in the clearing, we have masked figures. These masked figures are these dark, shadow-like entities of, again, like we were talking about in Talmud, spiritual residue. Okay? Spiritual residue. That's how you make a good film, is spiritual residue. So these masked figures, they move in this slow ritual. And here, let me grab this. It's hard with the camera. Masked figures, and they move in these slow ritual couples. And they form and they drift apart. Right? They're doing this dance. I have the room to dance in here at least. Huh? It's nice to have a big classroom at the very least. I just wish the camera was working. So they're dancing and they're doing this weird little ritual. And there's two of them, right? And it's these couples. And think Eyes Wide Shut, Stanley Kubrick. The masked figures. You remember that? Okay, that's what this is like. And it's supposed to symbolize, humanity. We're using shapes of shadows to resemble humanity. Okay. And now back to her and her inner dialogue as she is narrating through the whole thing. So now she says, here it is. Here it is. What they leave behind. The rituals. The patterns. All the love that wasn't held tight enough. A mirrored figure, okay? So a mirrored figure. So imagine she's in the mirror, but it's her in real time. And it appears and it approaches her, and they almost touch, right? They're like this. They almost touch. And it's really amazing, really amazing. And so, it's like she's looking into a mirror, but we're going to actually have an actor who looks just like her, match her body movement. Okay? Her body movement. Moving the body movement, okay? It's as if I had a double up here. If you can imagine, I had one more right here, and I touched. Bing! Right? And oh my goodness. Spooky, but it's symbolic. It's very symbolic. And the early touch, and the figure disintegrates into torn letters and pressed flowers spiraling upward into the air. So we see this, what appears to be almost a silhouette of a human being disintegrate into multiple pieces of an inanimate object, torn letters and pressed flowers. Like you would find in a book, pressed flowers. So they do that, and so she goes back into her inner dialogue, and she kind of, she says what the disembodied voice was saying earlier. I know, or I see more than they think I do. All right, exit back to the university campus. By now it's dawn. And she returns to the steps and looks directly into the camera. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Okay? I don't know if you're all paying attention. That's okay. That's why we record these. You can go back and watch and listen then. But she just went on this whole journey. All by herself. It was this weird, spiritual journey. And she came back right where we started. Back at the campus. At the steps. The steps of the campus building, which is going to be the Memorial Union that's just down the road. Okay, you had to pass the Memorial Union when you came in here. That's where they're going to be. A fabulous location. Fabulous. And smash. Cut. Hold on. Let's see. Anyway. Smash, cut, to break, blank. Okay? Boom. Nada. There's nothing left. The scene ends. And we're taken to a sudden black screen of death. If you want to add some symbolism of your own. And then it's just really quiet. It's really, 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 really quiet. And as an audience, you're watching this and you're wondering what's going to happen next. It's so quiet and dark now. I don't know what's going to happen. She was just at the school. Next scene. Immediately, right after this black silence, we're thrown into a detective's office. And it's the daytime. And all of the symbolism the symbolism, the surrealism, all of that fantasy-esque stuff that we saw in the earlier scenes is gone. We're now thrown into the harsh reality of the world that we live in today. And there's these beige walls, and there's this fluorescent hum. And the detective sits across from a new character that we've not been introduced to yet, in person at least. We only saw her through the symbolic images. But it is what and we might change her name, but as far as it goes right now, her name is Mrs. Carter. And she's the mom. The mom of the girl who went missing. Ooh. The plot thickens, literally. And the detective is here, and he sits across from her, and he says, well, she's present in one frame, and the next she isn't. Now, this is some cool dialogue right here from the detective, because what he's explaining to the mom right now in this little dingy office is they're watching CCTV footage of the girl. Because we just saw the girl. She was at the steps of the Memorial Union, and on camera, they're in the detective's office watching the TV camera, and they see her. They see her sitting or standing, like this. Here, I'll even go over here. She's standing like this, staring forward. And on the camera, you see her. In the footage, she just disappears from thin air on the camera. And so, leaving everyone bewildered. What? That's impossible! I agree, said the detective. That was the mom, by the way. She says, that's impossible! What the? Anyway, the detective says, I agree. Silence fills the room. Very weird. Very weird. And so, yeah. It's really silent, now we're in this, like I said, we're in this harsh, brutal, bleak reality of your everyday life. And she had gone missing months prior to this journey that we had seen. In the movie, we think she's gone maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. No, she was gone for at least 7 months, if you can imagine. And so, her mom's freaking out. They haven't found anything, no leads. The detective's bewildered. It's just set up for not very good. Okay, next scene after that is a college, and it's going to be the local college across town in real life. And it's this college bus stop. In a near-empty parking lot, one flickering overhead light, a different girl waits silently. So now we have completely shifted focus off the girl who was missing, and now we are looking at a brand new girl who is 19, so she's, a year older, and she looks a little... Well, she's in her element. She just finished night school. And so, we're set up to think, okay, well, something bad must happen to this new girl. Because all the focus is on her now. So, into the city bus. The bus doors is open. The bus driver says, hello. It's probably some old guy who will be driving the bus the night we film. And the girl nods, she don't say nothing, And the bus moves through these long rural stretches, and this girl's just sitting there, minding her business, taking the bus home. It's public transportation, there's nothing weird. And the bus slows down to a remote stop, and the doors open. 5 seconds, a figure steps into the light, and it's her. It is the girl that was missing. She just randomly catches the bus late at night, and she walks through those doors, and her clothes are all clean and everything, as if nothing happened, as if she was not missing for the last 7 months. Whoa, 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 whoa. What a shocker. And she boards calmly, and she sits down slowly, midway through the aisle. Street lights move across her face as the bus continues to drive on. No, driver don't know nothing. He's just doing his job. He picks up people all day, all night. Doesn't think twice. And so we go back into some inner dialogue, and folks, this is the most powerful, most potent inner dialogue of the film, because this is where we really get to see what the girl has been doing this whole time. Not so much a revealing of what was happening on a practical level, but rather the explanation of spiritual residue. So here we go. They think disappearance is an event, a mistake, a crime, a missing piece. But sometimes it's just nothing. People want everything to mean something, like the world owes them an explanation. But most of it doesn't mean anything. We're small, we're temporary, a missing piece. We forget each other all the time. Humanity didn't fail me. It just kept moving. Life doesn't promise meaning. It doesn't promise fairness. It doesn't promise to hold you. It just happens. And once you realize that, you're free. You're free. Free from needing to be understood. Free from needing to be kept. Free from needing to be remembered. Free from being needed to be understood. Free to be kept. Free from needing to be remembered. She presses the stop button. Ding! She presses the button, and she steps off the bus. Wow. And so there you go. Now there is one more scene, but I'm going to save that for another class because that's a good. That's arguably even more powerful of a scene than the one that we just covered. But look what just happened. This is incredible. She has appeared from nowhere and has come back on her own terms. And that's why this script is so effective in the way that it's written, is that we are showing a woman coming to age and playing her own game, living on her own terms. Wow, amazing, very nice. So, good girl, okay? Wow. Look at that. And so her inner dialogue is very much explaining this in more detail. And some of the lines that I just read, you can see very clearly that